I've been crocheting, crafting so much, and I can't even show it to you. Hi, my name is Jana Kay. Welcome to Flourish Crochet. And this is podcast number 52 of my Flourish Creatively podcast series. And thank you for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Welcome to new subscribers and those that have been with me for a long time now. You are all dear and precious to my heart, and I appreciate you being here. So, as I said, I have been crocheting a lot. I've been knitting. I have been doing some sewing and embroidery, and there's a lot I cannot show you because I am saving it. So I am joining in with the Christmas in July. It's hashtag Christmas Extravaganza 2025 with Kristen and KK at K&K Crochet. And I have been working a lot on that and my projects. My hope is to get 8 videos out in the month of July for that series, that event that is happening in July. And I have also been working on my Decade Divas project. Decade Divas is an event, I guess, hosted by Teresa at Critters Crochet and Shannon at the Spoony Stitcher. And it happens this year, will happen both in September and October. And podcasters who wanted to join, do a 70s inspired project or make a 70s inspired project. And then throughout the 2 months of September and October, we'll put up their videos on what they made and what part of the 70s inspired their project. So I'm working on that, but can't show you that. So do I have anything to show you? Well, I do have 3 finished projects. So let's get to that. My first finished project you may have seen because during the month of May, I was a part of Battle of the Stitches. That is hosted by Teresa at Critters Crochet and Heather at Strings and Threads. Each month, they have a particular stitch that they get out of a book called 200 Crochet Stitches by Tracy Todd Hunter. And then those that are joining them in the battle make an original project. And every Wednesday in the month of May, we do videos. The first video is the stitch and a tutorial. The second is a sneak peek of the project. The third is the reveal of the project and a tutorial. And then the fourth is a live on Teresa's channel. I put all these links in the description box if you want to see the live that we just had in May. You can check out Teresa's channel because that's where the live happened. And so if you did not watch that, I did a beach cover wrap skirt that I used. The stitch that we had this month was the track stitch. And so that is the stitch I used for my design. And this is my design. It is a wrap skirt, so it has a tie on each end, and you wrap it around as a beach cover up. I made it with Comfy Cotton by Lion Brand. This colorway is called Flower Garden. It is a DK weight yarn, but I used a 6mm hook because the track stitch is this stitch right here. Let me see if I can hold it. So it is the, let's see, it starts here. It is the double treble crochet with 3 rows of single crochet between. And I did add some what I call a row of window stitching, which is double crochet, but just to give it a little bit of a design to it. And then I use some just scrappy, I think it's I Love This Cotton yarn for the waistband and the ties. So I will put in here a video of me modeling it. All right, so that was my finished project for May with Battle of the Stitches. And that was pretty much the only videos I put out because with 2 tutorials take a long time to film, even though one of them is just the tutorial of the stitch itself. It is a lot of work during the month, and so that is why I haven't put out a podcast for the month of May, or I put a bougie crochet wearable series on hold because of participating in that and doing all those tutorials. I participated in December and still have the tutorial for the Christmas stocking to get out because I was doing Advent or Vlogmas. I was doing Vlogmas and having to put out a video every day made getting that tutorial done then with my regular podcast. So tutorials make it difficult, and that's why I put some things on hold during the month of May so I could be a full participant in Battle of the Stitches. So I have 2 hats that I also completed for the hashtag Birthstones Cal 2025 that is hosted by Litza at Coco's Crochet with the help of Rose at Rose Likes Crochet. Rose is offering as prizes for this year-long crochet along or make along, she is offering stitch markers. She makes lovely stitch markers. I have bought a few. And so she is offering those as prizes, but all the projects can be seen on Litza's channel. So I am making hats as part of that crochet along for K&K Crochet's charity called Bumblebee Mountain Outreach, and they collect hats. And so I thought, why not combine the 2? So for the month of May, the birthstone was emerald, and I made this emerald beanie. And I don't know if you can tell, but all of these puff stitches were done in a sparkly yarn. May sparkle a little bit further away. And then these rows around here were made with just plain green yarn. It is the same brand, it's Charity, that I brought back from South Africa. This was some scrap yarn that I have. I'm actually working on a corner to corner crochet blanket of 9 African animals, and that's why I brought this just plain green back. But I had this sparkly green from doing some Christmas designs while living in South Africa, so brought the scraps back with me. I love this design. This might be my favorite hat pattern from Crystal. I love these puff stitches and how she did them. They are half double crochet. Anyway, I just love how she did that and this design. And I love the green. But yes, it is still going to Bumblebee Mountain Outreach. I'll just make another one using this pattern for myself. So made that hat, and then I made another hat using Baby Bee Sweet Delight from Hobby Lobby. It is a 3-weight yarn, and I did use a 4.5 millimeter hook, and this is the colorway Set Sail, and I thought it was so pretty. Such a pale, pale, pale blue. So the birthstone for the month of June is a pearl, and I use this color because it almost looks it's such a pale blue that it almost looks like a pearl essence kind of color. And it is this colorway called Set Sail. Well, where do you find pearls but in the ocean, where you can set sail? So I thought the two would go together to represent the birthstone for June. There are 2 other birthstones when I looked it up, the Moonstone and the Aphrodite, something like that. Anyway, the Moonstone is also a blue color. So I thought, well, you mix a pearl and moonstone together, you get this beautiful pale, pale blue. This design also uses the double treble crochet stitch like the track stitch. This hat was designed by Litza, and it is a beautiful design. I just love it. This hat is a little too big for my head, but everybody's head is different, so hopefully whoever gets this when Kristen and KK share their hats with their community, it will fit somebody. It's also, this yarn is extremely light. Not only is it light as a 3-weight because it is a thinner yarn, but it is also a very, very, very soft acrylic polyamide. So 60% acrylic, 40% polyamide, which just gives it this very, very light drapey fabric versus this DK 3-weight yarn that is a little stiffer. In fact, I'm not sure I used a 4.5 millimeter hook. I might have used a 5, and it's still less drapey than this. This hat would make a great summer beanie. Because not only are these double treble crochet stitches very light and airy, the yarn is too. And I think it would make a really great kind of summer, spring, early fall hat, just to add a little bit of comfort. Or if you just like wearing beanies, then it won't make your head sweat so much because it's light and airy and a beautiful spring color. So yeah, anyway, I love it. Litza did a great job with her. I think it's her first pattern, her first original design that she did a tutorial on her channel for, and I love it, and I think it's beautiful. So those are my finished projects. I do have some whips that I can show you. For my works in progress, I have been working, as I said, a lot on Christmas Extravaganza projects and my Decade Diva project, which I cannot show you, but I have also been embroidering quite a bit. So I got an embroidery project or a embroidery kit from my brother for Christmas, and I finally got around to starting it because I showed in a previous podcast that I was working on a year-long, like a calendar embroidery project, but I thought I need to practice some of the stitches, especially the long short stitches and the satin stitch. For some reason, those kind of make me a little nervous that I will mess those up. And so this is the kit. It is an embroidery dictionary kit, and he actually gave me, I think, 2 or 3 of them. And this one has a sweet little rabbit, but you practice the stitches and then you do the embroidery at the bottom. So that's what I have done so far. I have practiced all the stitches and did a little bit of practice up here as well for the different stitches. So there is the outline stitch, daisy stitch, the back stitch or back line stitch, and French knots. And then the satin stitch here and the leaf stitch here. And then this one combines the daisy stitch with doing a line in the middle. And then once you practice all those, you begin using those in the picture down at the bottom. So I have been working on that, wanting to improve my embroidery, and absolutely love it. Been also doing a lot of hand stitching. One of the projects for Christmas Extravaganza is a hand sewn project. Very easy, very simple, and I combined crochet with hand sewing as well for one of those. So yeah, so it came with embroidery floss, all of these colors, and yeah, really been enjoying this kit. And I feel like with the practice, I am improving on my embroidery. So that's really it, other than the whips I can't show you for the things that I am working on. I have been doing a lot of other crafts, not just embroidery, so I'm going to share those with you now. So I have been doing quite a bit of baking. I have a biscuit recipe that I love to use. So I use a flour designed by Victoria at Victoria's Keto Kitchen. And it does have a little, I haven't worked out the percentages, but it does have just a small percentage, maybe like 25% of the flour. Maybe not even that much, maybe closer to 20% of the flour is actually wheat. So it is not gluten-free, but it has just enough wheat to help when you put in baking powder or baking soda, bicarbonate of soda, in there to give it a rise. And it makes these, I use the America's Test Kitchen Dream Biscuit recipe, and it makes wonderful biscuits that look like American fluffy biscuits and taste really good too. It is a great tasting flour. It actually has bamboo. That's the most bamboo flour. So just like the pandas, I'm eating bamboo, or my husband and I are eating bamboo. I make a double chocolate flourless cookie. So these are gluten-free and very yummy. I found the recipe on Pinterest, and I will link the recipe in the description box below. This is a new recipe that I have found. I do add vanilla, and I think I want to up the sweetener that we use a little bit. It's a little bit different than the original recipe, but when I went back to Pinterest one time to pull up the recipe, that website was no longer found. And so found a different one, and it is slightly different, and I think I just need to tweak it a little by adding the vanilla and maybe a little more sweetener to it. But it is a really great recipe if you want total flourless, gluten-free recipe. So both my kids We're in for Mother's Day, and that was really special. My daughter came in to Nashville early, and we went to, on the Friday before Mother's Day, to a place in Franklin, Tennessee, where we could do pottery painting. And that was so much fun. And I will put a picture of our finished products here. And the purple one is my husband's. He painted the whole cup purple, but he's a Vikings fan, so the bottom has that yellow dot, but the inside of the cup also is painted yellow. I did the vase because I have enough cups and mugs, so I did a vase, and then my daughter did the cup painted like the container, popcorn container. So that was really fun to do that with my daughter. It's probably been since my daughter, before she went off to college, was home, that we, all four of us, spent Mother's Day together. Because Mother's Day is not really an easy holiday, especially if you live far away, to travel to see, spend time with family. And so, yeah, so that was the first time in quite a while that our whole family had been together for Mother's Day, and that was very special. So after that, our son is staying with us for the summer. He goes to a school in Memphis, but because he's not doing summer school, he came to stay with us for the summer. And we went strawberry picking. We have two friends that work at a farm very nearby in the area. And so we went strawberry picking and got a lot more strawberries than I knew what to do with. So I did a lot of strawberry baking. I think we came away with like 6 quarts. It was crazy. So I gave a quart roughly to my neighbor, and then I made strawberry donuts, and all of these are low-carb keto recipes. I made strawberry glazed donuts, strawberry donuts with a strawberry glaze, made strawberry cupcakes with strawberry icing, basically the same strawberry glaze, and strawberry chia seed pudding. If you have never made chia seed pudding, it is amazing. And you can do it with sugar. I do it with a sweetener with allulose monk fruit blend. But you take chia seeds, and when they get wet, they develop a little gel around them, and they thicken whatever you have put them in. So I combine it with coconut milk. It's a coconut almond milk blend. And I do add a little bit of coconut cream, or you can do it with regular milk. You can do it with cream, half and half. It's 2 cups of that with about roughly 7 tablespoons, 6 to 7, maybe 8, depending on if it's how I want to say loose. That's not the word I'm looking for. How watery your liquid is. So if it's a cream and a lot thicker, you need less chia seed. And if it's not as thick, like if you use a 2% milk, or you use almond milk, almond coconut blend milk, you might need more chia seed. But I put it in there, stir it around, let it start gelling for about an hour. Then I stir it again, and if I need more, I'll put more in it. I add vanilla, and in this case, I added some of our strawberries. But it's very good. It makes a great pudding. I did add sugar. I think probably like 1/4 of a cup. You can add more if you want it sweeter. So, and like I said, you can add sugar to it. But it really it's kind of like a tapioca pudding is what happens when you use chia seed. And chia seed is high in 3, 6, something like that. So it's really good for you and tastes good as well. And yeah, so made that. And then I made some strawberry ice cream. Again, using our sweetener. I did use coconut cream. I can't remember if I used regular cream or half and half, something like that. But made some strawberry ice cream. And we still had some strawberries left over just to put on our yogurt or on our cereal for breakfast in the morning. We had a lot of strawberries, but it was so much fun. Yeah, so those are some of the things that I have made. Some of the fun activities we have done. Just a little bit of a life kind of update. We have groundhogs in our yard that have had babies over, I guess, early spring after hibernation, and it's been kind of fun to watch them come and forage for food in our backyard. But I put up a hanging basket for the spring and had a bird come and build a nest. And I'll show you a little bit of the progression, but she laid an egg, then all of a sudden there were 2 or 3, then there were 5 eggs, and then they hatched, and we had 5 baby chicks that grew, got to watch Mom feed them, and today I noticed they were out of the nest. So Mom has taught them how to fly. Whether they will come back to the nest now that they can fly, I don't know. I'm hoping as I look out the window to be able to see babies looking for food in the grass, that Mom is teaching them how to find their own food. And yeah, so we'll see if they come back. But that's been quite fun and entertaining. Now that we don't have dogs in the house, I have other kind of pets that I don't have to train or feed. And it's been kind of fun. So that is kind of crafting life update. And we're going to move into Bible study. What I have learned over several weeks of Bible study, but I want to share one with you. The reason I do this is that I ultimately believe that joy in life is found in the Lord. And so I appreciate you hanging out with me this long. If you are not interested in what I learn from God's Word, but would love it if you stayed a little bit longer and listen to this short devotion that I will want to share with you. I am reading from 1 Samuel and from Psalm 22. So there are about 3 verses or parts of verses that I want to share with you. And this is what it says in, I'll just catch you up a little bit. In 1 Samuel chapter 24, King Saul has been chasing David. There's a lot of jealousy going on with Saul in that he was disobedient to the Lord, and God told him he would no longer be king, that his family, it would not pass down to his sons or grandsons, that the kingship would be given to someone else, and that someone else is David. So Saul has been chasing David, and David had an opportunity to actually kill Saul. His men that were with David encouraged him to, but he did not. He did not obviously believe murder was right, and he knew that God had put Saul in this leadership, kingship position, and it was not his place to get rid of Saul, especially by murder. So he did call out to Saul when Saul left where David was hiding. He did call out and say, hey, I just want you to know I was in that cave and I could have killed you. And this is Saul's reply. And Saul wept aloud and said to David, you are more righteous than I, for you have done what is good to me, though I have done what is evil to you. And then David wrote in what's recorded in Psalm 22, and I'm going to read verse 8 and the end of verse 10. And in verse 8, David writes, he, being a person, relies on the Lord. Let him rescue him. Let God rescue him. And then he writes in verse 10, the end of verse 10, talking to the Lord, you have been my God from my mother's womb. And so David had the perfect opportunity to get rid of his enemy and stop running and hiding in caves and living in fear of being killed. Yet, it says in 1 Samuel 24 that his conscience bothered him. He had been relying on and following Yahweh, the Lord God, since birth. And he was rescued from a lion, from a bear, and he even had defeated Goliath because he relied and trusted in the Lord. And so he knew God had been with him from birth. And he knew that the Lord fought for him, and he fought Goliath for the Lord. And so now he trusted God to continue fighting for him. He knew murder was wrong. He knew it was wrong, especially to murder the king whom God had chosen and put in that position. And so David obeyed the spirit, his conscience that bothered him. He obeyed the spirit and refrained from killing Saul and continually relying on God to rescue him, for God's plan to unfold. So I just love that. Two things came to mind. One of those was from a verse in Hebrews, the New Testament, chapter 11, verse 6. Now it says, now without faith, it is impossible to please God. For the one that draws near to him, to God, must believe that God exists and rewards those who seek him. David had that kind of faith in God, that it pleased God. Now let's clarify. God did not make laws just to control us or prove that he's greater or mightier or better than us. God created the entire universe because he wanted to create and share his creation and his love with us, humans. He knows, because he created everything out of nothing. He knows exactly how the universe, how the earth, how the world is best run. He wrote the manual, and he wants what's best for us. And so that is to follow his manual, to follow how the universe, how this world best runs. It is best that we know him. It says in Hebrews 6:11, the one who draws near to him must believe he exists. It is best for us that we know him personally and have a relationship with him, and we develop that relationship through the word that he has given us. It is best that we put him first because he knows what is best and wants what is best for us. It's best that we don't steal. Let's get to the 10 Commandments. It is best that we don't murder, or as Jesus said, that we don't hate, that we don't slander, that we don't retaliate. It is best that we let God fight for us. It is amazing how many times in 1st and 2nd, now that I'm in 2nd Samuel, reading how the people of Israel call him the Lord of hosts, which means the Lord of armies. And it is best for our sake, for our health, for our physical, mental well-being, and our relationships that we forgive. It is best that we honor God's design for marriage. It is best that we take a Sabbath. Our bodies need rest. That's why God, even though he didn't really need rest, rested to show us that we need that rest, again, for our health, for our physical, for our mental well-being, and even for relationships. And it is best that we do those things that God instructs us to do, not because he is a controlling God, but because he loves us and wants what's best and knows what's best. He is all wisdom. It doesn't matter how intelligent we are, how much we think we know this world and the way it works. He ultimately knows more. He is ultimate wisdom. So, our obedience actually demonstrates our love for God. And that's why he delights in our obedience. It brings him delight because we are trusting in him, and he loves it when we trust in him, when we seek him for help, when we ask him to fight for us. And it says in Hebrews 6 that he rewards those who seek him, who trust in him, who obey him. Now, his rewards may not be the rewards we're thinking, like physical, earthly rewards, cars, houses, more money, a successful job. That might be in his plans for us, but really he rewards us with his presence. He rewards us with himself. And that's what David chose. There is a hymn. The second thing it reminded me of is the hymn, Trust and Obey. It says, trust and obey. There is no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. David chose to trust in God. He chose God's pleasure, God's delight, instead of relief from his enemy. He obeyed God's laws not to murder, and he trusted that God would make a way. He knew he was going to become king, and he trusted in God's plan, God's way for that to happen. So I hope this was an encouragement. I hope it encourages you to trust in the Lord, to obey him, to draw near to him through his word, to have faith in him. He will delight in that, and he will fight for you. He will reward you with his presence and his peace. I'm sure of it. So thank you again for joining me. It's great to be back and to put out a podcast, update you in all that has been going on in my crafting world, my crochet world, and to encourage you through God's word. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, for giving it a thumbs up, for subscribing. I just appreciate you all so much, and you all are in my prayers. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, y'all.